There you go. A little bit of Winter Wonderland to get us started off there. That was just a little arrangement I had. I just have a little lead sheet that I had worked out a few chords for. So there you go. A little bit of Winter Wonderland to get us started off with. All right. I've got two arrangements of some Christmas songs. One of them's new. We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Take a look at that one first. That's the easier of the two. So let's just take a look at that one first. Okay, let me just kind of talk you through it. If you haven't, go ahead and download those at our site there. Diane, I see you're putting up the links for that. Please continue to put those up as folks are coming in. Now, this is We Wish You a Merry Christmas, okay? So if I just played the melody. Okay, so you'll notice the top line, the stems are up on that top line. That's the melody line. So the stems are going to be up on the melody line. And this is a pretty block chord arrangement of this song. So nothing too stressful. We've got a C chord, an F chord, a D with an F sharp at the bass, G chord, an E, A minor. This one is a little bit different, kind of an F sixth, then a G, then a C. Okay, for that first part. So let me just play through it once so you can kind of get it in your ear, and then we can, I'll take it apart for you for just a second. Then it doesn't, you could repeat there. I'm going to go on there. And I'm playing this finger style, although you could use a pick if you would like to. And what I mean by block chords is kind of a block chord arrangement of it. I'm just playing simple, basic chords, and I'm just putting them. I'm not doing a whole lot of arpeggiation in between the notes. I'm just playing them right when the melody note happens. I'll play this block chord underneath it. So if you can imagine, it's kind of like a piano player would go don, 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 don. It's more straight like that. Now I can jazz it up if I wanted to. So I can kind of put a jazz feel to it if I want, but basically the notes are the same. So let's take a look at this. It starts on a C chord, and then I do this little melody note. Go to a standard F chord. But I'm hitting the third string, so I'm emphasizing the A in that F chord. So you'll notice in all of these, I don't have to play, even on the C chord, I don't have to play all the way down to that first string. I could just stop at that second string, which is what this one does a lot. Or sometimes I can even stop on the third string. So with inside of each chord, I can play all kinds of different notes as my melody note with it, okay? So to get this started off with, C. Just reach over. While that C is holding, I'm playing these other notes. I'm playing that F chord, stopping at the A. And then a D with an F sharp in the bass. Make sure you use your second finger up here at the top. Some folks will kind of do that, but you can't reach back there to catch that C if I do that. So I want to keep my second finger as that highest note. Then I go to a G chord. Now, instead of going all the way down to the G, I just stop on the B, because that's where the melody note is. Okay? And then I sneak in a little F natural in the bass to get us down to that E. Now I'm playing an E chord. The low E, and then the top three strings of an E chord. Then I play my melody line. A minor, I stop at that high C as the melody note. Then this part's a little tricky here. I put my first finger on the F, and I hold it out, and I have the A down here, and I like to use my third finger for that. So I'm playing those two notes. Then I hit my pinky on the D. Then I hit the G chord, and then back to the block C chord. So those two bars there are. So if I played it from the beginning again, nice and slow, it would be go. Hang on to the chord while this melody line's going. F in the bass. F in the A, D, G chord, C. So that's the first half of it. Then we get to the bridge part of it, and I go to an A minor, again stopping at that second string. E minor. Here's that D7, instead of a D with an F sharp, I have a D with an F sharp, but it's a D7 with an F sharp. Again, keep that second finger as the lowest tone on that sixth string. That's going to solve a lot of problems for you. Okay, so then I have the F sharp, D and A, and then this first finger on the C. Now here on the G chord, I only go down to that third string G because that's the melody note. But it's still formed the same way as the others. Then a G with a B in the bass, just to give us a little lift into the last line there. And then I have three chords in a row. A C, a G with a B, an A minor, stopping at the second string. And then I've got an E minor seventh. Kind of a different way of doing an E minor seventh. I've got my first finger on the B, and then I have open string, then pinky on the D, third finger on the D, pinky on the first string G. Okay, so if I played that last line, that's probably going to be the toughest part of this whole arrangement. This little arrangement is doing that combination there. But it's a good walk down. You're going to do that 1,000 times as you play in C, going from a C to an A minor. That's a good little walk down chord in between them. G with a B in the bass, A minor, and then it lands on this E minor seventh. And then here's that F with an A thing that we did just on the second line. Same thing. So there you go. So if I played that bridge part again. There you go. So a rather kind of an easier arrangement of We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And if you wanted to jazz it up, you can throw some notes in between those, kind of arpeggiate that, maybe give it a little bit of a jazz feel, but that's the basic arrangement. So that one shouldn't be too stressful to put together for you. And again, I'm doing it finger style, although you could use a pick with it if you want to as well. So there you go. The tab's there. The chord shapes are there. Everything I could think of to put in there is in there. So there you go. We Wish You a Merry Christmas. That's a new one. We haven't done that one before. Gosh, I was looking back through the live lessons over the years. We've done all kinds of ones. Silent Night and God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, and we've done all these. You can go back through live lessons on the discussion board back through the years and catch the PDFs to all of those. But one of the ones that we haven't done in a long time is the Christmas song. Okay, so that is a larger, more complex piece of music. If I can find it here. And so that one's, I think, five pages long. So I'm not going to, let's see, I can only probably fit 3 pages on my stand here, so I'll just kind of have to fake it for the last part of it. Okay, so let me just play this for you first, and hopefully I'll try and remember all the things that need to happen with it. This is a pretty advanced arrangement of the Christmas song. So don't get freaked out when you see all these notes in there. It's all notated in there, but it's a more advanced arrangement. So here we go. Let me just play it for you first. There you go, the Christmas song. So as you can tell, it's a little more beefier of a tune, that's for sure. So let me kind of start to guide you through this, and then we'll, I may not get all the way through it by the time we have to break in the middle of the show, but we'll, I'll try and get as much of it as I can. As you have questions with any of this stuff, please put them in all caps, and Connor, our producer, will put those up for me, and I'll try to get those as we get into that. Now, let me just first kind of give you some words of wisdom on this one. There's some chords in this. Sorry, there's a few chords in this. So if you're not familiar with some of these jazz forms, then before you even worry about all this sort of stuff, just take a look at the chord shapes at the top and get those underneath your fingers. Just kind of forming the C6, the C6-9, the D minor 11th, all these different chords. And let me also address, on the middle of the second page, there is this lick that I play. That's all 30-second notes. And you're already, I can see you, if you're looking at the music right now, you're freaking out about that. Don't freak out about that. It's just, it looks like it's horrendously important. It's really not that important. We'll talk about it when we get to it, but just realize that's just a lick. Sometimes you'll see things on music that you go, oh my goodness, look at all those 30-second notes. Do I have to actually count that? How do you count that? 1 E and 2. How do you? Don't worry about all that. It's just a fast lick. Just play it fast, you know. You'll see all of these things, even in orchestral music, and it's 64th notes, and it's groupings of 5, and all kinds of craziness. It's just fast. It's just a lick that's fast. So you don't have to worry about how am I going to count all that stuff out. Don't do it that way. Just worry about the finger patterns first. Okay? All right, so let me just kind of get you into this first. All right. It starts with a C6. Rather common form. Then I jump up and I do kind of a fourth. A chord built in fourths. For that next chord, that's C6-9. Okay, so it's got an E, then a fourth up is an A, fourth up is a D, fourth up is a G, fourth up is a C. So you end up with a very open sounding chord. But it's a very pleasant sounding chord. It's just the intervals are so wide it gets a very unique sound. So that first part again is, and then I have this D minor 11th, just keeping the bar there. But I'm going to throw my third finger down here to catch this melody note. Holding on to that. Notice how the chord part of that is in whole notes, and then you have the melody line on top of it. So I want you to hold out those notes. So don't go. No, hold it out. And then I get to a C major 7th. Again, these are 16th notes there. Don't think of them as duck. It's all rubato. Notice that rubato right there at the beginning of the song. It says rubato. That just means flowing, almost kind of without tempo. So those 16th notes are just. And then I have an A minor 9th in that second line. This is a bigger stretch. If you're not used to this big stretch, you can just play an A minor through there or an A minor 7th. But if you can reach that B going out to that C, that's going to create a nice little tension there. Now, that last 8th note in that bar is a grace note. See how that G, I have a little smaller note G and it slides up to the A. So I actually pluck the G and then slide up to the A. G minor 7th. C 11th, but I've got to put my third finger to catch that melody note. We'll pull off there to an F major 7th. And then I arpeggiate that. Kind of a D minor 9th flat 5. Don't freak out, that's a complex chord. It's actually just a bar and your second finger. A minor 7th. A B diminished. This is a good diminished form. If you're not familiar with some of these jazz forms, you might check out the Jazz Chords fretboard workout series that I did. I cover most all of these chords in some form or other are touched in that Jazz Chords fretboard workout series. So if you like these sounds, then you might check that out. That's a good kind of introduction into some of these jazz forms. Okay, so starting that second line again. And then I arpeggiate that. Hey, look at that! You've got on that on that last bar of that second line, I've got a big grace note, a B flat, sliding all the way up to the D. Third line. Block chords. And then I just slide this big A 13th here, and I just slide that third finger back on that second string to make it a little bit of inner line motion, which always creates some interest. And then we switch tonalities and we go to the tonality of E major. Just kind of arpeggiate that. And then just as soon as I land into that tonality, I'm out of it. And now I do an F minor 11th to a B flat 13th to an E flat. Okay? That is a 2-5-1 in the key of E flat. All of you theory whizzes there, jazzed up a little bit with some color tones. F minor 11th, B flat 13th. I'm trying to create some inner line movement, so I take this third note D and I let it fall back to the bar on that C. Just give some motion, give some inner line motion. That's what gives interest to some of your jazz chord things, is some of this inner motion. And now I do a 2-5-1 to get me to C. Right where I'm back, I started again, just like it was at the beginning. All this is just like it was before. All right, and now we get to the thing that's been stressing you out the whole time. This is this big lick. All right, here's the deal. It's a pattern, okay? I'm a guitar player. We just don't do that complex of a thing. Whenever you see something really crazy, 9 times out of 10, it's a finger pattern that you're dealing with. Here's the finger pattern. So it's kind of going through an F major ninth. F, pinky on the A, hammer on. Then I hit that C, and I go E up to the G. With a little bit of it's almost a sweep picking, but I'm doing it with just my thumb. So that's the first motion. And then I'm going to fall back to that E. So I just go E, A, E, F, G. And again, I'm only hitting the string like I hit it on the F, I hit it on the C, I hit it on the E, and then that's the first 8 notes, I've only hit the string 3 times. The rest of that is hammer-ons and pull-offs. Okay, so that's that first block of it. So we've learned a quarter of the lick already. I slide up to the A, and I play the same thing again. Slightly different fingering. Same lick. Do you hear how it's just the same lick up an octave? Now, I realize as you're learning the lick, you're not going to be able to play it that fast, so don't feel bad if you have to kind of go. And that's the first 2 parts of the lick, but that's how you build it up. That's a good little lick for an F major 7th. If I wanted to do it over G major 7th, I would move it up to G. B flat, no problem. So it's just a little pattern. It's a good lick to have underneath your fingers when you want to sound impressive. Okay, so if I put it back in F, I slide up again once again. Now, I do this little hammer-on from the A, C, E, C. It's an F major 7th arpeggio, just up and down. That is just an F major 7th arpeggio with a couple of hammer-ons in there. Then I walk it back, which is just that same chord that we had in the end of the second line. So if I add all of that together, you have slide up to the second form, the F major, walk down. There you go. Okay? So if I try to play it fast, let's see if I can do it. Just creates a little interest in there, okay? Now, then it's back like it was before. All this is just the same. Spins out of it a little bit different here. F major 9th. Same chord as we had at the end of the first line. Back to the C6th, okay? All right, we'll conquer the bridge part of that after we give something away. Let's give something away. I see you guys are asking about, has he done giveaways yet? No, I have not, but let's do some, huh? Shall we? I'm trying to give away. These are some shirts. I got 2 of these, so I'm going to need 2 names there, Connor. This is from our Guitar Gathering Conference. This is from 2 years ago, our 2018 conference. It's an extra large. All I have is extra larges left, so hopefully, pick a person that fits into an extra large, Connor, if you can. Okay. The winner of this one is Crazy Fast Flying. Crazy Fast Flying. Okay, Crazy Fast Flying. You have just won our conference shirt from a couple years ago. Send me your information at service@mightyoakmusic.com. Your mailing address, what you won, screen name, things like that. And we will send that out to you. So I'm going to pick another name, Connor, so give me another one. We're going to give away another one of these. Okay? This one is Jesse Strickland. Jesse Strickland, you have just won this extra large, so hopefully that'll fit you or someone you know. And send me your information at service@mightyoakmusic.com, mailing address, all that sort of stuff. And we'll get those 2 out to you. That's it. Then I'm officially done with our shirts for that conference. Hey, we've got our upcoming Guitar Gathering Conference, and it's going to be the biggest and best one yet. You can go to guitargathering2020.com. It's coming up in June 10th through the 13th. And it's 4 days of all things guitar and music here in Nashville. If you're interested in just getting away, focusing on your guitar playing, learning some things, we got workshops in blues and flat picking and bluegrass and jazz and hymns and worship stuff and all kinds of things. We got basic theory class, advanced theory classes. We're going to add some other classes this year. There's guitar setup classes, all kinds of things going on. And then at nights, we've got these big blowout nights with all these wonderful artists. And then we have workshops by them during the day as well. So far we've got Joe Robinson, Australia's Got Talent winner. Joe's going to be great, doing some great finger picking stuff for us. We've got David Greer, Grammy-winning flat picker, arguably one of the best flat picking guitarists on the planet. David is going to be with us this year, and very excited to say that Robin Ford, legendary blues guitarist and jazz fusion blues guitarist, Robin Ford is going to be with us as well. So we've got a pretty stellar lineup, and we haven't even really started booking the guests yet. This is just the first 3. So if you're interested, check it out, guitargathering2020.com. Spaces are already getting filled in for that, and if you want to do a payment plan, there's payment plans there as well. So there you go. Come on out to Nashville and be a part of it here with us. We also have a fall conference, our fall fingerstyle conference. You can learn about that at fingerstyleretreat.com as well. I'm not going to get too much into that, but we've already a quarter filled on that conference. So if you're interested, that's there as well for you too. You know, it's something about getting together, and it kind of supercharges your learning. You can only learn so much watching internet or doing YouTube videos or sitting in your room. There's something about getting together and actually getting and playing that really solidifies some concepts. You can't learn how to fly by just the book knowledge. You actually have to get out there. So we try and give you some opportunities for doing that. So there you go. Check those things out. We do have some, I think our sale is going on still. The guys are doing a sale of the Fretboard Workout Series. So if you're interested, I think the sale is still going on. So you can just type in the promo code HOLIDAY, all caps, HOLIDAY, and it's 25% off all of the fingerstyle, fretboard workouts that we've done. Jazz chords, money chords, major scales, speed and agility, all those. So, and that's just, I think it stops tonight if I remember right. So there you go. That's all of that nonsense. That's all of that. Do you guys have any questions before we dive into the bridge of this? I'm not seeing any here right off the top, but as you do, just let me know, and we will try and do that. Let's take a look at the bridge, and then I want to give a few more things away. Take a look at the bridge of this. All right, so we've done all of this part of it. Now we're going to get to the bridge, and here I try and give a little bit more of a tempo. So. Okay, so I try and give a little bit more tempo there. You have your standard G minor 7th, but I've got a melody note way up here, so I've got to stretch my pinky out and catch that melody note. Okay. C11th, okay, and then I put a melody note there of the A, so actually this would be kind of a C13th if you want to think of it that way. Let's see. F major 9th, again, we've already done that. And then just to give a little movement, again, I like the movement of the inner lines. I'm going to do the old descending. It's the old Stairway to Heaven lick. It's just a signature lick. I was thinking I should do a whole live lesson on little signature licks like that, because there's just about a half dozen of these that once you kind of learn them, you hear them everywhere. Okay, so this is a typical one. So I stay on the G minor, but I lower that to the F sharp. Then I lower to an F. Then I lower to an E, so I have to change my form a little bit. And then back to the F major 9th that we did earlier. So that whole thing is. Then I'm back to the F minor 11th, B flat 13th, 2-5-1 in E flat. So I have this F minor 7th, but I reach out and I catch with the bar with my first finger to catch that melody note. Walk my way down here. That might be a new form for you, an E flat major 9th, kind of a major 7th with a 9th on it. D minor 7th. Oh, my magic chord right there. I slipped it in there. A D augmented with an A flat in the bass. See how pretty that makes it? I get that D, and then the A flat, G. And you can even slide up here if you want to. I think I did that when I played it just a second ago. So if I play all of that bridge again here, it's like this. Our descending lick there. Here's our 2-5-1 in E flat. Walk down to the B flat. Major ninth form. Magic chord. See that little curvy line next to that chord there at the top of the what is that, the fourth page there? That just means to roll it. So instead of hitting it all together, I'm kind of doing buddle-a-dum with it. That's what that little wavy line, if ever you see that in guitar music, that's what that's talking about. And then we're back off to the normal stuff we were doing. Just like the beginning. Just to vary things up, I threw an F major ninth with an A in the bass. B flat 13th. Same forms we did earlier. Block chords. Slide that third finger back to give some inner motion there. Then this is a little tag. And then a typical jazz thing, I raise it up a whole step and do the same thing again. A great chord there, A augmented, sharp 9. Again, you see that little wavy line there. And then you'll also see two lines right next to it. That is we call a railroad track in the biz, and that just means there's a little bit of a pause there. So if I did pause, do it again, and then I slide up here and I do another inversion of it. Sometimes I'll even throw a harmonic in here, and then I land on the C. Okay, so from the tag, pause, I hit the C, and then this is just a great little lick, you know, it's just a cool little jazz way. If you, instead of just going and just ending the song, you want to kind of extend that, you want to milk that ending a little bit. So I'm just going to worm my way all the way down until I eventually get down to C. So I have and then eventually get down there. So I've stretched out a C chord into like 6 different chords going down there. So what am I doing there? Well, you start with the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 with that high C as the melody note. Now what makes all of these chords work, even though they're just kind of descending chromatically, is that they all have that C as the high melody note. That's what ties it all together. You can get away with all kinds of crazy stuff if you just keep a one note common between all these forms. So here's the form, and then I just basically walk that form down, but I have to change my fingerings in order to keep that C up there. You see how I'm just walking this form down, and then I kind of get out of range there, so I have to go to a different form, D flat major 13th. So if I put all that together, it's a great little lick. You can do it in any key. as long as you start on that tonic note and then throw the minor 7 flat 5 and walk your way down, it works anywhere. Okay? So if I did it, big bar there, and then here I have a C major, and I'm going to do harmonics. That's what those little diamonded notes are. So I hit the C. While that C is holding out, I reach over with my pinky, and I hit the harmonic at the 12th fret on the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string. So if I did that, all of that ending, there you go. A great little lick to end it out, that arrangement. So I realize if you're not familiar with that stuff, that's going to be that could be 3 months of an arrangement for you. But dig into it. Carve out new things in your musicianship, new ideas, new chord patterns. You'll find you can use them in all kinds of different places with just a little bit of thought. Okay, we've got a couple of questions as we're trying to land here, as we're coming into the end here. Ron is saying, do I like to enhance the reverb settings on a jazz style on my amp? Okay, so I've got my amp back here. Now, I'm not running through my usual pedal board, which my usual pedal board would have some delays and reverbs and things like that on it. But this is jazz. I don't need all that stuff. I don't need all my distortion pedals and volumes and all that sort of stuff, so I didn't even bother throwing it in the car. So I'm just going right from my guitar into the amp. I want to make my guitar as warm as it can be. So I've taken the tone off. I'm using the bridge pickup. The rhythm pickup up here, not the back pickup. I'm not going to do that. Okay? When I'm playing some rockabilly stuff, then I would do that. But this, for jazz, I want it up here on this nice, warm part of the string. The end part of the string, that's harsh, more trebly, rock and roll. More middle part of the string, warmer, richer, fuller sounding. To even do it a little bit more, here's the tone all the way out. So it's a little brighter. So I took the tone back to about 6. And so that just takes the edge off of that. And then I have my amp back there. I put a little bit of reverb in there so it's just not dry. So because I knew I was going to do a lot of playing tonight, and so I wanted it to sound good, so I added just a little bit of reverb from the amp. Now, we could have added that through the audio stuff, and he may even be adding a little bit some over there, but you can get a good fake of it through just kind of a spring reverb that's on a regular amp, There you go. Do I like to enhance my jazz settings with a little bit of reverb? The short answer is yeah. It just sounds a little bit nicer. Now, you can not have it and you do fine, but it just... Reverb is like cheese. It just makes everything better. Okay, so just give a little bit. Too much is too much, but a little bit makes everything nicer. Okay? Gregory Chambers is saying, what do I mean by a block chord? Okay. Gregory, here's the deal with a block chord. When I say that, when I'm doing a song, I've got a couple of different things of how I could put a melody note with a chord. I could play it as one unit, or I could maybe arpeggiate it, or I could roll it, So there's different ways I can attack it. Now, when I say block chord, that means I'm just playing them all as one unit, instead of going. That would be more of an arpeggiated way of doing it. But if I want to do it as a block chord, I just play it as a full chord. If I arpeggiate it a different way, so everything is just kind of arpeggiated. I'm still thinking of it as a chord, but I'm just attacking it as either straight up and down as a block, as one whole unit, or as spreading it out. Now, it's a very effective thing to use arpeggiation, like all the time. That's a very effective way to do it. So if I did a little bit of this with using all arpeggiation, let's see if I can even fake my way through it. see how I'm never really playing more than 2 notes at a time. It's just all arpeggiated, as opposed to playing a block chord. Here I arpeggiate. Here I arpeggiate. Block chord. Arpeggiate. So it's just a choice. One of them is not better than the other. It's just a choice that you can make as you're trying to put a melody with some chords underneath it. Great question. Larry Six String is asking, is an augmented sharp 9 spelled as an A, C sharp, F, G, C? All right, let's talk about that because that's a really fun chord. You ready? Hang on to your theory hats. We're about to go deep here, gentlemen. All right, and ladies. Okay, this is a great chord. This is a great form. It works for everything. But Steve, what do you mean by that? It's just such a wild chord, you can fit it in everywhere. Okay? Now, in this particular situation, it's like an A augmented. So an A augmented chord would be an A, a C sharp, an E sharp, or an F if you want to think of it that way. And then you have the flatted 7th, the G. There's the pure augmented. Here I'm kind of barring it and using the open A. And then, just to give a little bit more tension to it, I throw a sharp 9. So what a sharp 9 would be in the key of A would be the B sharp or a C natural, if you want to think of it that way. Okay? So I have, on top of all of this A augmented tension, I throw a sharp 9 on it. So I end up with this really wild sounding chord. Because it's a dominant. It's functioning as a dominant. And on a dominant, I can throw anything I want to in a dominant. I could throw an A. I could do an A augmented. I could do an A flat 5. I could do an A7 with a flat 9. I could do an A7 with a sharp 9. I could do an A augmented with a flat 9. I could do an A augmented with a sharp 9. I could throw an A13th. I could do an A13th with a sharp 9. I could do an A13th with a flat 9. I can throw anything. It's a dominant chord. And so the wilder I can throw color tones on it, the more jazzy it's going to be. Now, you have to season it to taste, and sometimes a certain chord's not going to work. But for the most part, hey, it's fair game on a dominant chord. I can go all sorts of craziness. So here's a perfect example of that A. Where do I do that? I do that at the tag there. There it is. Okay, it's just so tense. I could do crazier things than that. Hey, let's just keep that form and move it down to a different string set. Do you see? It doesn't matter. It's all just tension. As long as I spin out of it fine, nobody cares. It's jazz, okay? As long as I spin out of it, it doesn't matter where I start or how I get there. It's all just tension until it releases. Okay, so think of it that way. Great question, Larry, on what an augmented sharp 9 chord is. Okay, I want to give away 2 more things. This is a couple of Christmas CDs. I've done many Christmas CDs over the years. These are the most recent one I've done a few years back, and so I'm going to give away 2 of these. One of these is going to Dale R., and the other one is going to Bill Hare, Billhare. Dale, Bill, send me your information at service@mightyoakmusic.com, and I'll send you out a Christmas CD. So there you go. I think that is all the things we have to give away. Oh, let me just talk to you just for a second about a couple of different things here. We're coming into Christmas season and people are buying things and whatnot. I want to tell you about a couple of things. This is my cable, okay? This is a GeorgeLs cable. GeorgeLs, George and then LS, okay? Now, we've got them in our store. You don't even have to buy them from me. I'm just telling you, this is a great cable. You can go to GeorgeLs and buy it from them. I don't care, okay? This is a great cable. It's no better than any other cable. It just lasts forever. I made this cable from block cable, and then I attached the ends, probably 17 years ago. And this has been my main cable. I've got another one just like it and a few others that are still GeorgeLs. But these main two that I made that same day, I'm now 17 years later. I would pretty much guarantee that most of you out there are not playing the same cable that you played 17 years ago, especially if you play all the time like I do. This has been overseas. It's been rolled over amps and gear and taken a million different ways. It's just a great cable, okay? And it lasts you forever. So you can go out and you can spend, $150 on a monster cable and all that sort of stuff. And they're great, and I'm sure on an oscilloscope they would work fine, and they would look more impressive than this with the gold tips and all that sort of stuff. This is just, I have not found another cable other than the GeorgeLs that lasts this long, okay? Day in, day out, never had to change it. The only problem I've ever had with a GeorgeLs cable was my own stupid fault. I crunched it as I was throwing it into a pedal board one time. And then all I had to do was take it off, pinch it, cut it, put a new end on it. 5 minutes later, I had a cable that still works for me, okay? It's just a good resource. Check it out. I wanted to also say, I was on our Facebook page earlier today, and I was laughing. It was so funny. I had put up, people send me little memes all the time. I put up one little meme that it was something about like, a person asks, "My goodness, you're so good. How did you get that way?" And the musician answers, "Practice." And he says, "Well, you're so advanced. It must be some magical. It's just a mystery how you got that way." The musician goes, "It's just practice." And that's really all it is. So I put that up on our Facebook page. And several people commented on it. Well, it has to be a special type of a pedal, and it has to be a special type of a cable, or it has to be a special type of strings, or it has to be picks made out of glass slippers, or carbonite, or strings that have been cryogenically frozen and are platinum or whatever. It's always it's kind of an Achilles heel of guitar players, is we're always looking for the secret, the cheat, the little hack. And I'm telling you, there isn't. You just go into the practice room and practice, and you get better. And it's just improving your skills. If you can learn that lesson, you'll save yourself countless dollars of chasing after the latest pedal or the latest guitar or the latest this or the latest that. Okay? It's not in that. Your sound, your musicianship is in that frustrating, lonely place of a practice room. So learn to love that place, because that's the only place that actually gets you to be a better player. You can buy the fanciest pick, and you can, mortgage your house to buy the latest boutique amp and whatever. And I'm not saying there's not a place for some of that stuff, but we're putting our emphasis on the wrong things. It really is just getting with your instrument routinely, regularly, and making music with it. I was laughing. We had several different people commenting on that. One of them was one of our wonderful guitar learning master guitar family folks. Another one was Ron Block, who is the guitarist for Alison Krauss's band, and who's got more Grammys on his mantle than I can imagine. Okay, so Ron was saying, well, surely it has to be your pick, or surely it has to be what kind of strings you are, and people are responding to him. And I was laughing because you don't know you're talking to, arguably one of the best bluegrass players on the planet, and he was joking, but it's true. At that level, at my level, at your level, it all comes down to that ugly practice room, and learn to love that space, because that's the space that really gets things done. All right, enough of me noodling around. Hey, let me play you out for a little thing. We will have a live lesson next week. We'll be doing some more Christmas songs, perhaps. Maybe we'll even get Ron, if I can get Ron. That would be fun. But let me play you a little something, see if I can remember arrangement, and we'll go on from there. Have a great night. Keep up the great work in your learning, and we will see you guys next week.